Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 10th of October from the Amalfi Coast. Here we go. Market's been kind of weak, but we are still relatively close to the highs. It's just been some softness. The readings have indicated that the potential for a short is greater than for a long. We've maintained that, and actually we had a breakdown further of the green below red, and actually starting to get the orange between cyan and red DOC. Also, the steel is below the cyan for DOC. So those are all marginally negative situations at this particular point, but we're still holding right around the ABM. So above the ABM gold, let's put the numbers up there so you can see. I went one too many clicks. One click. There we go. So above 2146 would be your long status, and then definitely below that you can still be short, but then clearly below 2129 is definitely staying short without doubt. Interesting, the debate coming up. Obviously, a lot of turmoil over the weekend, so it's anybody's guess how the market's going to perceive that. If they see it as a security indication that HRC wins, then you might see a nice uplift. A little early to be projecting that kind of scenario on it because there's also some Brit exit issues that are going on that are creating a little bit of turmoil overall internationally. So that's having some degree of an impact. Again, NQ doing better than the other network, the other markets. Dow, slight improvement from where it was before. It still has to come up a little bit, but I think it's more on par with where the ES is right now. So I only get 2 out of the 3 relative alignment. Gold continuing to struggle. Could see a little bit of a turnaround. Now you see that orange beautifully stuck between the red DOC right here and the cyan, and that kind of spread usually indicates a continuation to the downside from that reading. So oftentimes what you get is just a stuck configuration. We saw it right here where it started break down thoroughly off GLT and has stayed in that range pretty nicely. So, and that's no surprise. We expected that to fade dramatically. Finally, DOC spread from strong readings for oil. Not much of a decline, but certainly a strong reaction from the DOC right there. So it could be an indication that we're going to get a little bit of pullback in that. We just had the one right up here, 1071. Not much of a pullback range, but needless to say, that's what it's calling for in the euro. Slid took out the lows and then shot right back up intraday. So that was pretty fast. Down and turnaround, and from a case standpoint, starting with the DOC spread right here, and then just bounced back and forth to a little higher DOC spread at this particular point. And that was corresponding to right through here when you ended up with the steel moving below. And then the breakdown became much more intense at that particular point. I think from a 5K standpoint, see it was right up here. It had already shifted to red marker at that point. We had a little brief run up, and then it began to cascade from that particular point on. When we look at it from a midpoint, it was right about here. And actually, I should put a little box on there because you had your pop above 13, but you had the orange dipping below. And that produced a very interesting buy configuration. Right about right here. Right for gold. Right around 21.41. Ended up with a dip to 38, but after that, made a little rise. It was pretty clean. It was interesting though because as soon as the steel got up there, we ended up with orange stuck back in between, and then right as it dipped down, again, it was right here at the start of the breakout. So you can see where it got caught in that malaise where you're stuck between the cyan and the red, and then it's just a waiting period at that point, and then the dip finally below the red caused the spark that we were looking for, and then you ended up with the other DOC spread, which took place right here towards the end. and it filled back a little bit of the spacing right there. So always good to be able to see that because it's nice to look at the chart like this and be able to really identify where these setups are taking place. This particular point, the end of Friday's session there. Um, yeah, orange is almost back into the center there. You've got the green flattening out. Um, Still looks like it'll be a little bit of weakness. I imagine we're going to get a little bit of play back and forth, but I think in one of these cases, with the debate and everything else, there could be some volatility, which is what we've been expecting all along. So we're starting to see some of that play out in real terms, which I think is just a validation of where our expectations were from the beginning. It's only going to get worse as the month goes on because this is going to be dramatic. I think now that we've had some of this new explosive details, we might get a shifting in polls that will make a significant move. I mean, um, the numbers haven't really changed that much overall, the percentage wise. So the likely HRC win hasn't really fluctuated in the last several weeks. So something dramatic would have to happen to change those details. In the market, that's their expectation at this particular point. Nothing's changed from that. As always, though, continue to look for me on the Skype chat. I will be heading back from Amalfi to Florence probably on Tuesday. So everything will be back in gear. Going to be doing an update to the shakeout indicator. We had the shakeout indicator where it put the red lines, the vertical lines that showed up on overprice, um, where the red was. So I'm going to reinstitute those, but make an input so you'll be able to turn it on. And when I send that out, I'll show you what you can do. It's not going to be any different than like the DOC. If I go to format for the DOmega, I think you can see. We have the 1 and 0 values for the different colors, and you'll just be able to put a 1 or a 0, and that will turn it on or turn it off. And that will be for the shakeout as far as marking those lines. All in all, pretty straightforward stuff. Looking good. As always, look for me on the Skype chat. Trade well.